Hey, bays and boos! Welcome to the first installment of Toxic Sips. Yes, the podcast has put on its costume, and it's spooky time, baby. Sippers, grab your gauntlets, your cauldrons, chalices, and Starbeast tumblers, because it's time for Toxic Sips. All right, guys, who do we have in today?
Hi, Jessica.
Hi, Benny.
How's it going?
It's going pretty good. You know, it's the Mecca. This is the time of year for a lot of people that you either really love it or you really hate it. In my case, I really love it. I feel like this is that moment, that 2-week period between Christmas and New Year that people love so much because you're like, yes, it's time for us to have days off and time for us to eat and drink way too much. And that's what I feel like the entire month of October is for at least Josh and I and Danny, a few of our friends, even though Halloween is a lifestyle for us all year round. Es spooky por vida, baby. Also, next week, Danny's coming in, one of my best friends, and we talk about Halloween as a lifestyle. But what are we doing today?
Today, we are telling spooky stories.
Yes, it is spooky story time, bitches. All right. So basically what's going to happen, you guys, today with Benny Martinez, which, by the way, when you guys hear me go, thank you to da-da-da, this is the infamous Benny Martinez, the one that helps, right? All the jingles. Okay. Also, what are you sipping right now? Because that is the coolest.
I am sipping hot chocolate.
Hot chocolate.
I love hot chocolate. Okay.
When you said that to me, I was gonna. I kind of died inside a little bit from laughter. Not in a bad way. You're the second guest in my entire podcasting career that's been like, I'll ask, I'll get you guys your drinks because you're doing me the favor of coming and hanging out with me in the studio. And you're the second person ever to be like, you know what? I'll take a hot chocolate. And I don't hear it in LA very often if it's not like this time of year or pretty much the latter half, the last 3 months, And it's like, okay, like that's cool.
Interesting, right?
It's interesting.
So everybody I talk to always wants the pumpkin spice latte. And I'm just like,
the PSL. It's PSL, baby.
I'm like, that's disgusting. I do not like Starbucks. I'm sorry.
That's okay. It's not for everyone. There's many options. Now you have Dunkin' Donuts, and you have Krispy Kreme, and you have, what else is there that people really, really like? There's
Abuelitas.
You can make it at home.
Yes.
There is comida en la casa.
Right.
There's café in the house. That's my toxic sip tumbler, by the way.
Oh, it's mine now.
No, he's like, I'm taking that shit home. Shout out to TJ Maxx for having that because I saw it and was like, toxic. And we're going to be sipping. Yes. What am I having? Some like bubble water thing that tastes good and gives you energy. Not a Celsius though. I'm not a...
What's that?
Okay.
What's that?
For those that are listening, we have this clear container with goop in it.
That's what you're going to be drinking today.
It's a witch's brew, I would say.
That's what you're going to be drinking.
Look at that. Look at this, guys. Look at this. That's what you're thinking I'm going to be drinking.
It's not me.
Basically, what's going down today, you guys, is we are going to be telling spooky stories. And at the end of it, we're going to do a tally and realize and... we don't know. In real time, we'll figure out what stories were based off of lies and what stories are true. It doesn't necessarily mean they're true to us, like we lived them, but they could be true to someone else. So I will be telling my stories in first person, and up to you how you want to tell them.
I'm a mixture of both.
Okay, totally cool. So we'll just start one at a time. Since you're my guest, I'll let you go first.
Ooh, all right, let's do this. My story begins in the late 1940s. A 13-year-old boy commonly known by the alias Rolling Doe.
I'm adding aesthetically spooky sounds.
Whoa, it sounds like a game show.
Oh, okay. Let me...
Go darker. Dum, 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 dum.
That's not my strength, sir bandmate.
All right, so in the late 1940s, a 13-year-old boy commonly known by the alias Rolling Doe was mourning the death of his aunt. The aunt had taught him about spiritualism, including how to use the Ouija board. Roland's family notes that strange things started happening in their house shortly after the death of the beloved family member. In January 1949, the family reported hearing strange stripping noises and scratching sounds within the house.
Stripping, like meow. Oh, wait. And scratching sounds?
Scratching sounds within the house. So imagine
Yeah.
like hearing scratches in the walls, right? Like, do you ever get freaked out when you start to hear like random noises happening in the house?
Oh my God. Tangent time! Last night, Josh and I were laying down after going to a premiere. We sleep in the same bed quite often now, okay? And I just hear like... And I'm like, baby, what the fuck is that? And we had just seen this indie film called, an indie feature called Dying to Sleep. So it was a little spooky. And I was like, oh, hell no. He's like, I think it's probably just squirrels on the roof. Because there's a tree that kind of overlaps. And I was like, oh. And then he goes on to share, and I don't know why this freaked me out a little bit more. He goes on to share, like, we did have a rat problem like 2 years ago.
Oh, my God.
And the rats got into the attic. And so it started off with, like, small, like, here and there. And then it was, like, all the time. And so then, obviously, they're going to call the landlord and be like, all right, we got to do something about this. Hello? Like, this is disgusting. And they got rid of it. So I'm like, oh, my God, you have rats in your attic.
That... I don't mind rats, okay? Compared to the alternate, like, what it could be, like...
Ghosts.
Ghosties.
Woo.
I think I'd take rats over ghosts any day. Especially since what I experienced over the summer.
Yeah, which I want to get into.
Did you...
Eventually.
Did you saw my Instagram post, right?
Yes. Uh-huh.
Okay, so because...
Spoopy.
What I first started hearing, speaking of sounds, like, I would hear, like, walking, right?
Yeah.
And I don't know why, but I just woke up, and next thing you know, I see a shadow staring right at... a shadow staring at me. I know a lot of people are like, how does a shadow look at you? I don't know. You just know that they're looking at you.
That shadow be staring.
Yeah, that's right.
Problems.
So I lay there, frozen. I could not move.
Oh, no.
My chest was heavy. Like, I just, like, struggling to breathe. And next thing you know, like, I was like, let me grab my phone and try to take a picture real quick. That fucker walked away. And I'm just like, oh, my God.
Oh, my God.
So that day, I slept with the lights on and everything. And I was like, I cannot. Like, and then I find out later that I slept in a World War II hospital.
Oh, no.
So it's a hotel that was made from a World War II hospital.
Like the remnants, the building, the pieces of the structure that still remain.
Yes.
Oh, my goodness. Why did you get a choice in this hotel originally? Or was it like just where you landed?
I went to a retreat in my occupation. We have retreats from here, there and now. And they decided to go in Santa Barbara. And they chose the Hyatt motel.
Yeah.
And we were supposed to sleep with, like, fellow roommates and stuff like that. I was lucky to get my own room.
Yeah, you're like, I don't know these breezies.
Yes.
If they be snoring or farting.
Right? So I was excited.
We're professionals, and you're treating me like we're going to be staying at what is it? A hostel?
Like a hostel
Yeah.
or like we're going to be roommates or something like that. Like
I don't know you.
So I was excited that I had my own room. That first night, I didn't feel, see, or hear anything. So I was, okay, cool. But that second night was just where, like, I just hear walking. I'm just like, what's going on? And then next thing you know, that shadow right there staring right at me. I don't know if you saw my Instagram post.
I did. I just didn't see that specifically, but I saw the dark room and it did feel very eerie.
Right?
Yes.
And I didn't know I stood at a World War II hospital until one of my friends like, hey, where are you at right now? I'm like, I'm in Santa Barbara. He's
Where in Santa Barbara, motherfucker?
And they sent me a message. Are you staying at this motel or hotel?
Oh, you're all.
I'm like, I could possibly. Yeah. And they were like, that used to be a World War II hospital. And then she sends me links of, like, the history behind it, and then
she fucking sent you Cliff Notes, source pages, everything. Google images.
So this is like my third or fourth time experiencing something like that.
That was like spooky investigative journalism.
And this is not something it's something I want to experience, but within my control.
But that's the thing with these things. Never.
Yeah, never. In your control, right?
And it's so funny because we're already getting into tangents because you're reminding me of a story, and these aren't even part of our stories, guys. We'll get back to the actual stories soon. You're reminding me of this kid that was, I think his name was Everardo, and we were in elementary school, and he was like friends with the most goth kid in school. And, you know, back in the day, like in the other episode I had my friend Mallory, the one who owns a vintage dirty laundry storefront in Redondo Beach, and she goes, "Oh, do you remember like when we were in middle school, early high school, and if you weren't, you know, as hard as you said you were, so if you weren't like emo, if you wore a certain band shirt, and they'd be like, oh, you're a poser. Like, and now everyone's like, you listen to everything, and that's totally cool, which is totally all right. You're allowed to have a dynamic palette that way, right? Back in the day, so this other kid was extra goth, and he made sure everyone knew. This other kid was extra emo. He made sure everyone knew, right? And so I remember they were hanging out after school at the more gothy kid's house. I don't remember his name. I can't remember his name for some reason. But then basically they started playing with the Ouija board. And that's one thing. And we kind of discussed that next week, where it's like,
that's a no-no.
No.
Yes.
I'm like, I love spooky, but there's things that I do not like, because my family's Christian. So like, I wouldn't go get my palm read. I wouldn't get my future told. There's just things, there's lines, there's a line in the sand
that you don't cross.
That I do not cross.
Yes.
Because it's like, I don't need to know what's up on the other side of that.
For me, I agree with you. I will not touch a Ouija board, even though that I do believe it's a toy manufacturer thing. But I will not touch that because, yes, part of me believes in the spiritualism and that something bad's gonna happen. That's I don't know if you heard of that game where like that they put pencils on top of each other.
Oh, I've heard of it.
And it's like, I will not play that. However, half of me wants to go to a haunted house, stay the night, and do some investigation.
I think it's more coming from a place of wonder. I think it comes from like that place of true crime where you're like, I want to debunk this. Like, that's why I'm annoying to go with to haunted houses, because I'm like, I see the feet right there. I see the makeup falling off right there because it's hot over here. I'm very annoying that way.
I'm the same way. That's why when I go to like Universal, like
Horror Nights and
like Not Scary Farm.
Yeah.
Like, I already know, like, they're not allowed to touch me. Like, I'm not going to get scared. I already know that, like, I'm not getting scared.
So it's a controlled environment. Yeah.
So, however, that wonder of going into like actual haunted place that they say, right? Like, I want to go experience that myself. For me, I've been trying to do a trip where I could go to go stay at the Conjuring House. And then another one, I don't know if you've ever heard of the Villisca Axe Murder House.
No.
Oh, in Iowa, there's this murder that happened.
Only in Iowa and different places in the middle of America.
Right. So apparently, this is how the story goes. A man stood like in the attic, waited for the family to come. And then while the whole family went to sleep, the man with an axe murdered every single person in the house. Oh. It was like 7. It was like 4 children, a neighbor, and the parents, right?
No. Oh my gosh.
So that is the gruesome story of the Villisca Axe Murder House. Yeah. And you're allowed to stay there. You're allowed to stay the night. You could get a permit. You could film. You could do whatever you want. I want to do that.
Okay. I'm here for because I'm a creator. I'll film that shit. I will. See what I mean? Like,
let's make a trip. Let's make the trip.
Let's get happen. All right, guys. You heard it here first. We're gonna go film some spooky shit in Iowa. Let's do it, Benny. We do a bunch of stupid shit together. Let's just add to the list.
Let's just go. Let's buy a plane ticket right after this show and just go.
I don't need to buy a plane ticket to that wedding I'm going to next month. Let's just go there.
Right.
Long story short. Tangent almost over. That they went and they were playing with the Ouija boards at that kid's house, and then Eva was like, his blind started moving, and he had those really long CVS receipt type blinds, and you know, the plastic, and they sound annoying. And he said that they started shaking. The next day, the kid said that like they just sporadically now shake ever since that moment. Oh wow! So like boom, 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 blinds just shake all day, every day.
And then I've just heard horror stories about like messing with the Ouija board.
I'm good.
Every person I've talked to is like who's played with the Ouija board has always told me like, I don't mess with that shit. Like there's still effects that like that still affect them to this day. And they're like, I don't. One person like had like uncontrollable nightmares. Oof. And that person just like one day just like, I need therapy. I need something. Yeah. And then he ended up going to Mexico to get a exorcism done on him.
Oh my goodness. Some people go to Mexico for BBLs. Other people go for exorcisms. What can't Mexico give you?
Right? Here's to Mexico.
So back to your story.
Back to my story. Unsure of what else to do, the family called the local minister. And after observing the boy overnight at the church, the minister suggested they reach out to Jesuits. The family converted to Catholicism and tried to have Roland baptized. But the young boy responded with unbridled rage. At one point, Roland was admitted to a hospital where a psychiatrist attempted to treat him but was ultimately unsuccessful. From there, the family thought moving Roland to a different house might make the spirits leave them alone. But the strange events continued. The family was out of options, and so they called upon priests to perform an exorcism. Father Raymond J. Bishop was one of the priests who was called in for the exorcism. Bishop later wrote about his experiences. Another priest who came to assist the family was Father William S. Bowden. At one point, Bowden attempted to protect Roland through the blessings and putting a crucifix under the young boy's pillow. After leaving Roland to the rest, the family returned to find furniture flipped over and the crucifix moved to the edge of the bed.
Oh no.
Several exorcisms were performed on Roland. While the exorcisms were performed, young Roland vomited, urinated, spit, and spoke in Latin. Roland also took a deep breath, adult-sounding voice that was unfamiliar. The final exorcism was conducted with the help of priest Walter Halloran and William Van Roo.
So now, do I believe if this happened for real to somebody or if this is fake?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
And with exorcisms, you really can't tell,
You
right?
can't. You really can't. It was left open-ended, sorta. So I'm going to say fake out.
Fake out?
Fake out.
Okay.
Again, mine are being told in first person. I was working at a long-term care home, and one night a resident's bell rang at 2:59 a.m. So these are with the long-term care places for the older people. When I entered the room, the patient asked that I remove the dark figure without a face that was hiding in her bathroom. Shaken, I assured the resident, that I had done so. I went, hey, it's gone. You're good. I returned to my desk. What else can I do? 10 minutes later, another resident bell rang on the opposite end of the floor. Upon entering, the patient tells me, there's a creepy man in my room with no face. You need to get him out. Once again, returning to my desk, kind of freaked out. I'm like, okay. It's 3 a.m. Fuck. Okay, you know what? It's fine. This is fine. So I tried to occupy my mind. So I started playing Tetris on the computer. And then I turned to grab my coffee. So I turned around. And then when I turned around back, there was a creepy man with no face above my computer screen. And I screamed and ran down the hall.
That sounds real to me.
True or fake?
I want to say true.
Okay.
Yeah.
Your answer is locked in. All right, your turn.
When my sister Betsy and I were kids, our family lived for a while in a charming old farmhouse. We loved exploring its dusty corners and climbing the apple tree in the backyard. But our favorite thing was the ghost. We called her Mother, because she seemed so kind and nurturing. Some mornings, Betsy and I would wake up, and on each of our nightstands, we'd find a cup that hadn't been there the night before. Mother had left them there, worried that we'd get thirsty during the night. She just wanted to take care of us. Among the home's original furnishing was an antique wooden chair, which we kept against the back of the wall of the living room. Whenever we were preoccupied watching TV or playing a game, Mother would inch that chair forward, across the room, towards us. Sometimes she'd manage to move it all the way to the center of the room. We'd always felt sad putting that back against the wall and felt that Mother just wanted to be near us. Years later, long after we'd moved out, I found an old newspaper article about the farmhouse original occupant, a widow. She murdered her 2 children by giving them each a cup of poisoned milk before bed. Then she hung herself. The article included a photo of the farmhouse living room with the woman's body hanging from the beam.
Oh my gosh.
Beneath her, knocked over, was the old wooden chair, placed exactly in the center of the room.
So her spirit was lingering.
Yes.
Oh no.
Probably wanted to kill the kids.
Yeah.
And it's like, I'm going to kill them again.
That's some Llorona shit right there. I'm going to say, the reason I say this though is because there's times where, I don't know, man, like the other day for work, because we have, at Earwolf this month, we are releasing a show called Too Spooky to Handle on Earwolf Presents. So it's a 4-part segment with these improv actors, and they're super funny, but they're diving into the spooky land. And part of it was that they had to, there's a haunted doll that they had to kind of experiment with. And so I was in charge of opening the box.
All right, so you ordered a haunted doll?
They ordered a haunted doll, and I opened it. And, okay, we'll get to it. And she smelled, and her eyes did stuff, and she was ugly. And that's all besides.
I would not talk shit about that doll right now if you don't want nothing spooky to happen to you. I'm just letting you know. If that doll...
Her name is Ginger. Okay.
Knowing that you're talking bad shit about her.
She's like down the street too.
All right. I pray for you. Or I'm not even a religious guy, but I'm hoping that...
I didn't get bad... You know, sometimes like in movies, how people are like, how do you not get that bad vibe, Lisa? Like, you know what I mean? And so when I opened this doll, it wasn't that spooky. It got spooky when I got home later on. And let me tell you why. Speaking of furniture doing wild shit. So it was a hotter day that day. And I went and I'm like, okay, I'm going to turn on my privileged life. I'm about to turn on the central AC, baby. Ciao. Take it down to 69 degrees and make it nice and cold. Okay, so I go and I flip the switch. I even turn on the little light so I can see exactly what I'm going boop, 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 boop on the thermostat, right? And I go, cool. I walk away. I put it on auto for fan and cool. And I was like, great, it's going to go to 69. Wonderful. I'm living my best life this fall, summer in Southern California. I walk away. I go to the bathroom. And then I'm in my room and I'm like, it's getting warm in here. Why is it getting warm in here? I go back to the thermostat and it was on heat and the fan was on, not auto.
She's trying to kill you.
And I was like, I'm pretty sure I was not on autopilot in this moment because I really wanted to cool down. Spooky furniture is a real thing out there, guys.
She's trying to kill you.
And the thing is that we have her in the office.
Yeah.
So she's there all the time now. And she
looks at you.
And she smells. I can't get past the smell.
Is there real hair on the doll?
I don't know.
You might want to ask.
I didn't order her. I just opened her. And here's the thing. The people that their whole experiment or whatever, I don't think they ever physically touch her. I know you had nothing to do with this project, but can you open this box for us? Sure. I love my job. And this is how I died.
Yeah, that's the way it's poor. And have you seen horror movies where like the innocent person just gets caught in the middle and then
like innocent bystander at the wrong place at the wrong spooky ass time.
And I feel bad for them. Like they didn't even want this shit to happen.
Yeah, they were just at that local diner getting a burger and they died.
That's fucked up.
I'm referencing Supernatural out there, you Supernatural fans.
I love Supernatural.
Okay, well.
You didn't even say.
Oh, if I thought yours was real fake?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Oh, sorry. Yeah, that shit's real.
Okay.
It's
locked in. Okay.
It's locked in. Okay. I'm going to use a different voice. I'm a man now.
Okay, go
And if for those that are in the know, Benny works on the jingles, but also Benny and I are like forever trying to start a band. It's a thing. It's a thing. So he knows there's a vocal range that I cannot meet, and that's on the lower tones. It's a hard time. It's a very hard time. So bear with me.
You got it.
Back in 2013, when I worked as an insurance claim inspector, I would typically call my clients about 30 minutes before showing up for a site inspection. One day, I called a client's home phone to let them know that I was on my way, and a very old-sounding woman answered the phone with what sounded like really poor and static-filled connection. Hello?
It's always the static.
Benny, give me your best old lady.
Oh my God.
Why is your old lady British?
The old Queen of England.
Oh my God! I got the Queen's ghost on the phone.
Princess Diana. I don't know.
Did Princess Diana kick you out of heaven?
Yes, I'm in hell.
You deserve that, bitch. All right.
I don't even know why he went there.
It's okay. It just happens naturally. Hello? Can you hear me? Hello? I said. The call disconnected, so I called back. There was no answer. I tried the cell phone number on file, and a young woman answered saying she was out, but would return within 30 minutes. When I arrived, I rang the doorbell, thinking that whoever initially answered the home phone would answer the door. However, no one did. A few moments later, the young woman who answered the cell phone arrived. Apologetic, I explained that I might have woken up the younger woman's mother. I said, hey, I'm sorry. I called earlier and an older lady answered, and I'm sorry if I woke her up. I've been out here waiting. No one entered the door. The woman looked confused and scared at me and explained that there wasn't. There was not an older woman living in the house. After going inside, we checked the caller ID and discovered that when I called, someone had answered the first call. The young woman became pale and terrified as she explained to me that she had recently moved into this house and had been telling her husband that she thought their house was haunted by an old woman. And I thought, man, this lady's tripping. But someone did answer that phone. So I did my inspection and I left. I got the fuck out of there. True or fake?
True.
We're locking in his answer. If I could, I spelled tur.
Sure.
Tur.
Sure.
Alrighty, you're up.
There was a boy who was addicted to the internet. You know, like
Fucking everybody. Oh my
like
God, I
all of
woke
us,
up and was
right?
on Instagram. Oh man.
Right? He heard an urban legend about the Red Room from one of his friends at school. That evening, when the boy got home, he went on the internet to see if he could find out anything about it. All of a sudden, a small window popped up with a red background. Written in black was the message, "Do you like?"
Ooh, what
The
is
boy-
daddy? That's kinky.
A little kinky, right?
Little
Like,
kinky. Do you
kinky
like?
ghost
Do you
right
like?
this is a perverted ghost, okay? This is a boy.
This is a ghost from Scary Movie when he's like having sex with her. I mean, minus pretend there's no boy in this story real quick. But like when he's like, get in here, get over here, and he's like, I think it was Scary Movie 2 where when they're in the house and she's like, yes, daddy, come here.
And they're just all over the wall.
Oh,
like,
yeah, having sex like on the ceiling.
oh my God, that was so ridiculous.
Ridiculous.
Movies like that cannot be made anymore. I don't know why. Like,
Because people are like, that's insensitive to ghosts. I'm gonna have to cancel you. You're triggering me.
oh my God. Have you seen a
My ghost.
paranormal story, or the one where like, I think it's a paranormal story with the Wayne brothers, and how like some guy comes in like, hey, cut, like, cut, like, where's the ghost, cut?
Where's the ghost, cut?
And then they were like, what happened to your furniture, cut?
What happened to your furniture,
And
cut?
it was, everything drops down, and they're all screaming like, ah, ah.
I love that one.
What happened to your furniture, cuz?
That's by far, I think, the best cinematic scene ever.
Wow, a lot of people you're gonna get dragged on the internet for that
I
one.
hope so, because think about
They're
it.
coming for you.
It's funny.
Yeah.
It pops out of nowhere.
Yeah, you're just like minding your own business. A serious moment. You think this guy's gonna come and purify the house, and it's like, where's your furniture, cut? Because he was stealing half the furniture.
Yeah, right. See, see,
The journey we went on right then and there with that story. Do you like? Okay, sorry, attention.
The boy closed the window, but it popped up again. He tried numerous times to close it, but it just kept reappearing. Eventually, the boy noticed the question had changed. Now it read, "Do you like the red room?"
Oh.
In my childlike voice. "Do you like the red room?" Just then, the screen went black and a list of names appeared in red. At the bottom of the list, the boy saw the name of his friend. The friend who told him about the red room.
Oh shit.
All of a sudden, the boy became aware of something behind him, and he lost consciousness. The next day, the boy didn't turn up for school. There was a rumor going around that something had happened to him. The next day, his classmates had heard the horrible news. The boy had committed suicide, painting his room red with his own blood.
Wow. Also, you can't trust nobody. That was his homie who led him astray. Also, when you said painted the room red with blood, my brain immediately went to that scene in the OG Freddy Krueger when Johnny Depp was young and it was like all over the walls. That's what I imagined happened.
So, I don't want to sway your answer or anything like that. I don't want to, but
you are.
I'm not going to sway it, okay?
Okay.
But there was also a crime investigation.
Okay.
Where the room was painted red with blood.
Okay.
And it had turned out that two people were like killing people and just using their blood as payment.
Oh my Lord.
So I'm not trying to sway your answer or anything. But I'm just saying that this is a cool urban or a cool folktale or a cool crime story that could have happened.
I'm gonna say it's not real.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm locking in my answer.
Locked in.
All right. I was 12 years old when my parents decided to get me a trampoline. And this was them doing this so I wouldn't be on my video games all day and on my phone. And so I was outside jumping on my trampoline in the backyard. And I would look upstairs at the upstairs bedroom window, and a woman in a white dress would sometimes wave at me from that window. I thought it was my mom. I really did. I thought it was my mom. I went inside and one of the times realized that my mom wasn't even home. It was just my dad. So who was on the window? My mom eventually, later on that day, came home from running her errands. And I had to tell her, I was like, Mom, I saw this woman in white in our bathroom window upstairs. My mom grew up in this house, you see. My mom, it's not like a new house that my parents bought when they got married. This was her childhood home. My grandma also lived here when she was young. So my mom admitted to me that when she was younger, she had seen the woman twice. Grandma had seen the woman also. It still kind of bothers me because I sleep in that room with the bathroom that's connected and I can see the window from my chair. True or fake?
I'm going to go with fake.
All right. I am locking in your answer.
All right, this one's a little long one.
Give me Cliff Notes.
I'm going to give you Cliff Notes. Okay? Mm-hmm. This is a story about a girl named Michelle.
Michelle Branch. This is the story of a girl. No, I'm just
Who
kidding.
got a river and drowned the
The
whole
world.
world.
And she looks so sad in photographs. I absolutely love her when she smiles. Okay, I'm done.
So Michelle grew up devotedly Catholic, right?
Yeah.
She attended Mass twice a week. When Michelle was 16, she suddenly blacked out at school and began walking around dazed. Okay? Her friends and family would notice that she would do it often. She never remembered. She never, paid too much attention to it. But a couple years later, she experienced the same thing, right?
Oh my God, this bitch is possessed.
She woke up in a trance-like state and she wet her bed. Her body was also going through a series of convulsions, and it caused her body to shake uncontrollably. So after a second time, Michelle visited a neurologist.
Oh yeah, I would think she has. She was having what's that thing called? Epilepsy.
Epilepsy? Yes. That's exactly what the neurologist said.
Oh shit.
That she was epileptic.
Oh no.
She had temporal lobe epilepsy. That causes seizures and loss of memory. Explains her symptoms, right? After her diagnosis, Michelle began taking medication for epilepsy. And then she started taking those drugs and everything. However, they didn't work. While attending universities, they started getting worse and worse.
Oh no. So she's living with this chronic illness now.
She started to believe that she was possessed. So she went to go look for, a Baptist, anybody that will hear her out.
Yeah.
She sought out priests and she sought out for clergy to help her. However, they rejected her.
That's rude. She needs help.
Right? So they rejected her, and
Just like the American health system, except with religion.
very much so. I'm not a religious person, so I get it. Yes. Her delusion. She started seeing things. She started seeing things at the corner. She started hearing voices.
Oof.
She started saying that the devil was out to get her.
Oh no.
And her delusions became worse and worse every single day.
Oh my goodness.
Believing she was possessed, she ripped her clothes off her body. She performed up to 400 squats a day.
I mean, so she just gave herself her own BBL. Oh my goodness. Okay.
And then she would crawl under a table and bark like a dog.
Man,
It's crazy,
she's
right?
wilding, but she's also really fit.
Right? So she probably has an ass, right?
Yeah. Ass.
To the point, she also started eating spiders and coal, and she even bit off a dead bird. And then she would lick her own urine off the floor.
That's nasty. Remember that line we were talking about?
Yeah.
That's where I draw it.
She thought it would help her, so.
All right.
Finally, she and her mother found a priest that would look at her. And the priest was like, yeah, this bitch
Is possessed.
she's possessed. Let's get somebody. She's not epileptic. And so with the approval of the priest and the Roman, what was that? The Vatican?
Yeah.
They were able to perform an exorcism. In the span of 10 months, they performed 67 exorcisms.
Oh my gosh.
She ended up revealing that she was possessed by 6 demons. She would talk in a weird voice. And she even broke the bones and ripped tendons from her knees.
Oh.
So she would break bones in her own body. Over these 10 months, she became malnourished to the point.
You see ribs. She's
everything.
like the what is it, the machinist?
Right?
Yeah,
the
yeah,
machinist. And she, I guess, flung a priest over her with like godly strength. She threw the priest across the room. A person like malnourished.
How can you? Where are your gains, man? Your gains are gone. Those squats are gone.
I think she was 23 years old when this happened.
Wow.
I'm just saying. She's just 23 years old. And then she dies.
Wow. What an upset. You thought that story was going to lead to like, and then she had the exorcism of a lifetime and she got the golden ticket and she was survived. Happy ending. No happy ending here.
None whatsoever.
None. I'm going to say fake.
All right. I'm going to lock it in. I'm going to lock it in.
Oh no. You gave me the face like, bitch, it was real. Here is my final story.
Let's go with this. I think I'm winning.
I hope you are.
I really do not want to drink that.
This is our witch's brew. Woo! Okay, I'm done. Okay.
You're going to drink that.
You're going to drink that. Okay. So.
Let's go.
I grew up in a household with a lot of siblings, a single mom. It ended up being just a normal story of an urban kid living in the big city. We would take turns doing dishes. We would take turns doing house chores. I especially hated cleaning the bathroom. So one day, I did a trade with my sibling. And I said, hey, I'll wash your dishes at the end of the night if you clean the bathroom for me today.
That's a great trade-off. I hate doing dishes.
Oh, my God.
I hate doing dishes, right? And it's just for a few minutes.
I know.
I hate fucking dishes.
It's wild. the real horror.
Right? That's the real. All right, that's the real horror right there.
Because the dishes is something that we do at the very end of the night, they pile up. There's so many of us, and we all eat at separate times of the day. So I don't know if really I got the better end of the deal, but I didn't want to do the bathroom because the bathroom grosses me out. It's nasty. And I was washing the dishes one night, and there was one window that we had in the kitchen. Our house was lifted. It was a really small house. And we had a big yard and old trucks and trailers back there. And I had finished washing the dishes. I put them away. I went to go close this curtain on the window. And I looked out, but it was dark and all I could see is my own reflection. And I thought to myself, I'm really alone right now. Everyone's asleep and I can't see outside. So if someone is staring at me, I wouldn't even know it. Ooh. And then out of nowhere, you hear a big banging in front of me on the window. So I jump off the chair. I run to the backyard. I went outside. Why did I go outside? I thought, this is how people get killed in movies. I look around. To the left, to the right. Our fence was closed. There was nobody out there. I thought I had to have heard that banging. I run back inside, and the dishes were full again. The sink was full of dishes again. All the work I had done was gone.
That's the horror.
That is really the horror. Real or fake?
Fake.
Okay, locking in your answer.
Because, yes, that is a very horror. That's very scary. Like all the dishes that you just did and then more dishes on a plate.
That's what's scarier, the fact that someone banged on the window in front of and you couldn't see, or that all the dishes were back in the sink?
All the dishes back in the sink. Like I said, I hate doing dishes, so...
Oh my God, the worst! That's the worst!
I wouldn't care. I would be like, you know what? I'm pissed.
I'm pissed. Ghost, come at me. You want to catch these hands?
Yes.
You want to catch these hands, demon? How dare you make me wash more dishes? I just wash these dishes. You know how many people live in this house?
You know how soaked I'd be? Like, because and you're making me more wet, and I'm upset.
Oh my God, that rhymes. You're making me more wet, and it's making me upset. Oh my goodness.
Okay, so I say it's fake.
All right, I'm locking in your answer.
Okay.
All right, so let's go back to the very first story.
The very first story, which is my story.
Yes.
Roland Doe. Mm-hmm. Have you ever heard of that name?
No.
So you got this one wrong.
Oh, no.
It's a true story.
That's a wild story.
It's a very true story. This is what inspired the writer for The Exorcist.
Oh, right. Okay.
And this, what happened here is what inspired him to write Exorcist. And then the movie, obviously, right?
Oh my gosh. Dang it. I'm so mad that I thought that was fake. Okay. All right. Your story. The first story on my end. This is a story from a Reddit user.
Okay.
And you got it right.
I was right?
Yeah, it's true.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was the faceless man, right? Like,
yeah, the faceless
something
man.
about that. Like, I was just like, the way it was described and read, I was like, yes, I know.
You kind of just experienced that the other day.
Yes, like, right? Like, I did over the summer. So I'm like, I know what this person's experiencing. So I think it's real.
Oh my goodness. And when you close your eyes and you go to sleep. Ooh.
And then you start seeing eyes behind your lids.
Mm-hmm.
So my second story about the sisters and the mom. Right?
Oh, yeah. Uh-huh.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
So you got it wrong.
No!
It's fake.
No!
It was a short story created by, I forgot the user, but they posted up like on an anonymous blog spot.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a story, and it won like the shortest horror story ever, like award.
No!
And I liked it because it was just like, that's interesting. It seemed real.
So sad. Okay. And this one was about the inspector with the old lady phone call.
Yeah.
I wrote fake, but I don't know.
Okay, I said fake. Okay.
You're wrong. It was real.
Oh, wow.
That one was real. Yeah.
Wow.
The call. Woo.
That is surprising to me. The next one, The Red Room, it's a real life urban legend.
But doesn't mean that it's real.
Yeah, it's not real. It's
fake. I got that one right. Yeah.
You got this one right.
Okay.
It's not real.
I was like, there's no way.
It's a Japanese urban legend.
I love
about
it,
the
though.
Red Room. About like if you ask for the Red Room, it'll appear and then you go crazy.
Oh heck no. Nope. That's gonna be a no for me, dog.
But I always think that urban legends are based off truth and.
I mean,
facts.
I want to go, but obviously I'm never gonna go because that would be like an uncultured swine thing of me to do. But like that suicide forest.
Yes, me too. Akihoka. I can't even pronounce it, but the forest. Yes.
Yes.
There's trails. There's stuff like that.
Yeah.
But they warn you like, hey, if you see a body, contact the authorities.
I thought it was closed off to people.
I don't know, honestly, but apparently they find bodies like all the time. Okihara.
Also known as a Sea of Trees, is a forest on the northwestern flank of Mount Fuji on the island of Honshu in Japan. How many people commit suicides in this Japanese forest? It's more than 100 people who were not from the area surrounding of that place committed suicide here between 2013 and 2015. According to a local government report, countrywide suicides totaled roughly 24,000 people in 2015 alone.
That's a lot of people.
That is a haunted as fuck ass forest. There's no way. Wow, 24,000 people in a year.
So after our trip to Iowa, let's make a trip to Japan.
Oh my goodness.
Go.
Yeah, I guess we can go from Iowa to Japan.
Let's go.
Let's do it. All right. Heebie-jeebies, my head. Ooh. Okay, so this is a story of the 12-year-old seeing, and the 12-year-old with the mom and grandma all seeing the same lady because they're all in the same house. You said fake. Yes, I have written it down as fake, but
it's real.
It's real.
Wow, you threw another.
I know.
You threw.
Sorry, bro.
Threw a curveball on me.
Yeah, according to him, this is real. So you gotta believe it. Your turn. The last one.
My last one.
Yeah.
And I was hoping that you'd kind of like catch on because I know you're a big movie person.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you've ever seen The Exorcism of Emily Rose.
I have.
So this is what that movie's based off of.
That's why I said fake, right?
Yeah.
That's why, because I was like, I've seen this movie before.
It's real. It's a real, like, it even went to courts. Like these exorcisms and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah.
They sent the parents to court. They sent the priest. They sent everybody to court because
Holy moly.
she ended up dying malnourished. There's real pictures. If you go online,
yeah.
if you go online right now, there's a recording of her, like her demonic voice and everything online,
Wow.
and pictures of her. I don't know if you want to see it or look at it.
Let's look at it. Pull it up. And
Yes. So her name is Annalise Michael. Annalise Michael.
Oh my goodness. Oh boy. Yeah, that girl needs a Twix.
It's a real life. It went to court. It went to everything. So
Yeah.
I always found this case, this trial, and this, obviously exorcism
Super interesting.
interesting, right? Because when do you start believing when it's supernatural to actual mental health? And that's what we start to think, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Yes. Was it mental health, and then did they diagnose her correctly?
Did they before they resorted to the supernatural element of things, did they, and even if maybe she was in that headspace, were the people surrounding her who were supposed to be her safety network keep her safe? Obviously not, but like, did they try other options?
Yes.
You know what I mean? And so, like, I know we were talking about with Bonifay off camera, we're talking about the Dahmer case and different things, and how it's on Netflix, #1, and so there's many feelings going about it. But specifically, what we find the most interesting is that, like, between Bundy and him, like, Bundy was like crazy, and he wanted to keep killing him.
He was a monster,
right? And he knew it, But on the other end of it, it's like Dahmer was like kind of relieved to get caught, and he was just like sloppy on purpose almost.
He had a conscience. He's like you said, mental health and stuff like that. We look at this, it's like, when does it start being supernatural? When does it stop being mental? For instance, Annalise Michael, they told her she was epileptic, right?
Yep.
Did they go further into it? Like, did they think that maybe she was
maybe check on schizophrenia, personality disorder,
bipolar disorder? Yes, like it's
all of that, right?
Did she experience anxiety, stuff like that? Like that all triggers.
Like, what years did this take place?
So this one for Annalise Michael,
Yeah.
This is where it's crazy, because this all started, I'll tell you right now, in the 1960s.
Okay,
so this is way before we started taking mental health seriously.
Yeah. So the superstitious, the realm of spooky stories was probably a little bit more prevalent, a little bit more believable, a little bit more feasible and palatable, as opposed to like your mental health being a concern. And so I think that's crazy because her safety network wasn't really there for her, and they believed the stories instead of the science, and approached it from like a very scary religious side, like the far end, off the deep end, if you will. And this poor lady, she probably just had a whole array of different things happening that no one really cared to do a deep dive into, and it's wild. Like, we're just having the right people. Like, that's why having a network is so important. Like, a network of people that care about you, right? Or even make sure that the ones that you do have are like gonna have your back for real. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So.
Oh my goodness.
And that's even more like horrifying.
That's horrifying. Yeah.
Because your life really is in danger, and these exorcisms are what they claim is supposed to save you.
Yeah.
Is really causing you pain.
More pain. Yeah. If anything, it was just a really slow murder.
Yeah. But the thing is that I also looked into it, and I was like, maybe it is supernatural. She flung a priest over her shoulder.
But then you can also argue adrenaline.
Adrenaline, right?
Yeah. Easy. Oh my gosh. Okay. Whoa. It's not cool, bro.
It's crazy though. Like, it's it gives me creeps sometimes.
Yeah.
It still gives me the creeps. I'm not gonna lie. All right.
Alrighty, the last one. You said fake.
I said fake.
It was fake. It was partially true though. I added sensationalism, which made it fake. And that one, out of all the stories I read, was a real story that happened to me.
Really?
Yeah.
So the dishes that came back happened to you?
No, the dishes that
was horrible. That was, for me, that was the scariest part.
That was like...
that was the scariest part for me of the story.
Those fucking dishes, bitch! How dare you! I was spent the last 2 hours with those. Now there's grasa stains all over those plates again. Oh my goodness, no. No, what happened was I was probably, I don't know, like in middle school, and I was up at like 10:30 washing dishes, and my house was lifted, and my siblings were all over. I was washing these dishes. I made up the part where like we did all do like chores, but it's just that night I just so happened. This is like the Dahmer case all over. And this is like every show that we watch where it's like inspired by true events.
Right.
Where literally like 5% actually happened and the rest is all like for fluff and storytelling. Obviously the dishes did not come back. However, the part where I say I was closing the curtains because the window was lifted, so I was short. I'm still short, newsflash. So I had to get on a chair and roll the curtains down. And I could see my reflection, and I was like, wow, I can't see outside. It's so dark. But if someone's in front of me right now, which you'd have to be like 10 feet tall.
Yeah.
8 feet tall, something like that, right? To be eye level with me at that height. And I was like, if someone's out there looking at me, they can see me and I can't see them. And as soon as I got that thought, there was a banging on the window in front of me.
Oh.
Yeah, that part was for sure real. I jumped off the chair, ran outside. Like an idiot.
That's right. You ran straight towards the danger.
Because I wanted to see what it was.
You be the first one to die in a horror movie.
I know. I hate to admit it, but I wish I was like the valiant. The only thing I have going for me is that I'm like somewhat athletic. I can probably run or go up the stairs or climb a tree, but I'd probably be like, what's that? Boom, dead.
You know what? You wouldn't be the first one to die. I think you'd be one of the last survivors because in horror movies nowadays, the people that go looking for the danger or they chase the thing end up surviving while the people that get left behind.
That's true. That's the current trope. Yep.
They die, movies. Right?
Especially, you're reminding me of a Cabin in the Woods.
Yes.
Yep, with the pothead guy who survives.
Yeah, he's like, dude, all of this is dangerous and stuff like bro, like what if they're watching us?
Yeah.
And then
trust the pothead in
one
your
of my
room.
favorite horror movies to this day.
Oh man, same.
Yeah?
I love watching it. Yeah, I think it was really underrated, and people didn't understand what an awesome movie it was when it came out. Mm-hmm. So I hope now it's like American Psycho or The Thing or those type of movies that kind of didn't immediately shine and then they last forever.
Following. Yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yes. Yeah. So that's what happened. That part was real, but the dishes did not come back. Thank God. I would have been so upset. I feel like I would have gone on a murdering rampage that night. Like this young child killed her whole family.
That's the real horror story.
Right? Because the dishes fucking came back. Like, no way, bro. I didn't get murdered. I'm here today. And who knocked on that window? Well, that'll forever haunt me. And that's just, it is what it is. So, yes, it was a fake story. And I faked you out.
Telling it up. I have two right.
I think you won.
I won.
I have a feeling you won.
I won because you only got one right.
I know. And you got two right.
And which is strange because I thought you were going to get the one with the more information right.
I just it was sus, baby. It was sus.
Right? Like the more information there is like it's a lie.
No, it's true. It's true. And I felt that because when I was kind of making up that last one, because it was partially true, partially fake, I was remembering how like usually when people are lying, and this is why with the whole Amber Heard case, another travesty that happened, another horror in mainstream media, it was she just kept describing everything like it was a story. She kept describing it like, I remember looking down at the shagged rug, and the rug was so wrinkly because he had spilled cognac 39 from our vineyard and blah, blah, blah. And like, you see how it just keeps adding and adding. And you're like, whoa. If you were legitimately like broken, like you say you are, you'd be like, the house was a fucking mess. I couldn't think straight. Like, you're not going to look at the details like that. No. So there's enough time to like think about it and make up a story. Then I don't know how broken you are or how like traumatized you really are or how real this is. What is it? Keep it simple, stupid kids. Less is more.
Less is more.
Less is more.
This is very true because when you think about it, like, I don't know how, you know how people when they draw like the murderer's face or stuff like that, how do you remember that kind of stuff?
Right?
Like I'm having trouble like memorizing, like remembering like other people's faces when I meet them. Like I'm just like, and I know them for like a week already and I still have trouble like seeing their face.
The real travesty, the real horror is like, oh God, he just told me his name. I don't remember. And then later on, I've had it before.
Really?
Tangent. I've had it before where this girl goes, hey, Jessica. I was in high school. And she goes to give me a hug. And she's like, how have you been? La, 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 la. And I'm like, oh, I'm good. I've been great. How are you? And then she turns around and goes, you don't know my name.
Don't you feel bad?
And then I was like, yes, I do. She's like, no, you don't. And I was like,
Yeah, you're right.
yeah, you're right. I don't know your name. She's like, okay, I'll see you later. And she walked away.
That's so fucked up.
What a biatch. I'm like, you could have at least said you could have told me. Maybe I would be so traumatized from this social moment that I would memorize it, you know? I never saw her again, but I was like, is this bitch fake or what? Because I never saw her again. Oh my God.
What if she was a fan?
Oh.
What if she saw your podcast?
No, this was in high school.
What if she saw the future?
Oh my God. Sorry, fans. Only fans. My only fans.
Whoa.
The ones that watch the podcast.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. Well, I guess I lost. So let's reveal what is in our witch's brew. Guys, this is disgusting looking. If anybody wants to know what is in this witch's brew, it is Peter Rabbit Organics Apple and Grape. It has 100 calories. This right here, this one thing is 100 calories. Do you guys understand this is 10 minutes on the Stairmaster and 0.60 of running a mile? Makes you think. Anyway, this is literally just squeezable puree, organic puree.
Good luck.
Oh.
Told you. That does not look pleasant. Does it taste good?
Oh, it looks like shit, but it's delicious.
I officially won. I am the best.
Do you want to give your Grammy or your Oscar speech?
Oh, yes. Thank you. I could not have done this without you guys, without the internet, without the ability to fake the people around me.
I.e. the podcast host. I finished it. Why do people eat this? This is gross. All right, guys. And that was the show. So, thank you, podcast listeners and viewers. This couldn't happen without you. Thank you, Patreon subscribers, for the extra love you sprinkle by giving to the show. Thank you, Chris Bonifay at Sent to Destroy Studios, for letting me run my show in your space, especially because I'm nowhere near as spooky as you, but thank you for letting me try. Thanks to the very groovy Ted for loaning me and the podcast a second camera so you can see the awesome Benny. Yay! Thank you to Joshua Taylor for creative setup and creative producing. Thank you to Erica Ayala for creating the coolest graphics that we see for Toxic Sips. They're so fun and groovy. And thank you, Benny, for coming to play during spooky season.
Right? I'm excited.
Thank you so much.
This is my season.
Yes, it's spooky season all year, baby. If you want to support the show and are watching, you can use the QR code on the screen. For those listening and who can't use the QR code because, well, you're listening, here's a jingle in the meantime. Very superstitious writings on the wall. Very superstitious. The lighter's about to fall. 13-month-old baby broke the looking glass. 7 years of bad luck. The good things in your past. Thanks, Stevie Wonder, for making a sus anthem perfect for spooky season. Since, all the kids love saying sus these days, that's the anthem for the kids to be like, that's suspicious. Lastly, don't forget to follow the pod at TALKSNSIPS on Insta and TikTok. Write in. I love to hear from you at talksiandsips@gmail.com. Let us know if you have any spookies you want us to share. Or if you're just like, hey, that's my Reddit story. Let us know. But thank you guys on Reddit. And then to find everything you need in one single place, yes, head on over to talksiandsips.com, our website, because we're professional. And stay spooky, sippers. We'll see you on the next Toxic Sips. Very superstitious writings on the wall. Very superstitious. Ladder's about to fall. 13-month-old baby broke the looking glass. 7 years of bad luck. The good things in your past. Hey, okay, bye.
Bye, guys. Bye, everyone.